USA. But USA is not an acronym, right? Right, Esther? Why?
Right, because when you pronounce it, you don't pronounce it as a word. You don't say yes it. Yes, that's it. That's not a word.
Oh, okay. I was wondering, because you two were talking about this, what was and what was not an acronym before the program. And frankly, I didn't really understand it.
Well, the technical definition of an acronym is you should be able to pronounce it as a word, like scuba. Scuba diving, means, if I can never remember this, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. It is the first letter of each word of that 5-word acronym. So scuba diving, scuba is an acronym. But as Esther said, USA is not an acronym, or company like IBM. International Business Machines. But Esther, you have another good acronym.
Sure, the word WHO, WHO, is also an acronym. It stands for World Health Organization.
Okay, all right, very good. So, the acronym we're talking about now is SMILE, and we see it broken down there. We've got a list of it. And what's the first one, Linda?
Say it with outrage or extreme anger.
Okay. Next one, Esther.
Model appropriate behavior. So this means if you want your child to behave in the right way, then you need to do the right actions. You need to model that right behavior.
Give them the right example. All right. Next one, Linda.
Involve everyone, the parents, the children, and the caregivers. Everybody should be on the same page.
Well, that's very important, the caregiver's part, because a lot of times the children are being raised by maybe grandmother or aunt, and the mother and father can be doing a great job, but if the same policy is not being executed by the caregiver, you're just throwing everything out the window, just wasting time. So, all right, next one.
L is very important. Listen as much as you talk. So instead of just lecturing your child, try to ask them questions and listen to their feelings and listen to what they have to say too.
All right, and finally, Linda.
Encourage everyone. Remember this word, encourage. Encourage, because praise for good behavior is more effective than criticism. Oftentimes children misbehave because they want attention, and they will do anything to get it. And if they get attention from bad behavior, then that's what they're learning. So they will always behave in an incorrect or a manner that we don't like, because they're getting attention.
Right, okay. So SMILE, the acronym there as far as a strategy by Sue Porter. And then we go here into techniques for effective discipline. And Esther, what do we have first?
Well, this first sentence is very important. It says, work towards consistency. And earlier we talked about this word consistent. If you are consistent, then you act the same way over and over in different situations. So try to be consistent and work towards consistency.
Okay. Consistent being the adjective, consistency being the noun that we're trying to get to, and to make sure that your goals, rules, and approaches to discipline stay the same from day to day. If you don't, you'll just drive the children crazy, right?
Well, children are looking for boundaries. They need to know the limits in their lives. And that's what a parent really is for, is to set those boundaries. And if one day you let them go beyond it, and the next day you get mad at them for doing that, they're going to become very confused. So once you say something, you should have a good reason for saying it. Don't just say, you can't do this for no reason, or you can't go somewhere for no reason. Your boundaries should be set, and it should always be that way.
Right. Well, in fact, that next sentence kind of goes into that, right, Esther?
Right. It says, children find frequent changes confusing and may resort to testing limits just to find out what the limits are. So if you keep changing the rules or changing what you think is okay and not, then children will find that confusing and may resort to. And here, resort to, it's a phrasal verb, and it means to do something that you don't want them to do because they can't find another way of doing it correctly or achieving, having success. So they might resort to testing limits.
Yes. A lot of times we might say resort to something also is, that's like when we have to go to plan B or plan C, even in our own lives. If I try something and it doesn't work, I might have to resort to the other plan and just see if that works. Well, what children resort to is, I'm going to try something different to try